original form that it had. It was a nice flat layered rock. It sort of bend, and then it bounces back. And in this elastic rebound, nobody had a meter set. How about a ruler? Okay. So earthquakes are basically elastic rebound. Elastic rebound. That sets forth a series of waves, energy waves, through the Earth's surface. And with every earthquake, there are. There we go. I hope it doesn't break. There's your elastic rebound. It just simply breaks at that point. This tries to reorient itself again to a horizontal nature or whatever was the original form. Now, obviously, if we did this slow enough, we could get the thing to really wrap around, and when it did break, you'd get this fantastic vibration. Thank you. Four sets of waves are created. The first wave are referred to as P waves or primary waves. The waves are compressional, referred to as compressional waves. They are waves that will travel through segments of the Earth at the greatest velocity. They're the fastest waves. Energy flow is in the direction of wave activity. So the energy flow is in the same direction as wave activity. If you take a big spring and you pull that, or put a weight on the spring, it bounces up and down. The energy is going up and down. The wave is doing this. So the energy is flowing in the same direction that the wave is propagated. So the energy flows in the same direction as the wave moves. Remember, what we're transferring is energy. The Earth moves a little bit, but we're transferring energy. Okay, this travels through in solids and liquids. So this literally travels through all segments of planet Earth. Slightly slower waves are referred to as secondary waves. And these are shear waves. And what we mean by shear waves is if the energy flow is in this direction, the waves travel at right angles to energy flow. So the waves are basically as such, at right angles to energy flow. Travels only through solids. Slower than the P waves. And that becomes essential to know that they're slower than the P waves. Collectively, these two waves are referred to as body waves. Because they literally, once they're generated, will travel through the Earth and can be recorded then literally at various places on the Earth's surface. In addition to these waves, typically these waves are the least destructive of the waves. least destructive. We have surface waves. And your book only identifies them, I think, as surface waves, but there are two types. There's something called a love wave. What guy's name? Rayleigh wave. But don't worry about those, but in case you have sense of curiosity, there are two types. The surface waves literally travel along the outer margins of the planet. So this is outer margins. The surface waves are within the first couple kilometers. And they are, again, the waves travel at right angles to the direction of energy flow. One set of waves travels like waves in the ocean. They literally rotate in this manner. So you have literally up and down like wave activities in water. The other set are shear waves that literally go side to side. So if you have a home in an area where this is, you may have bedroom shooting that way, living room shooting that way, and everything going up and down. These are the waves that when people indicate their experiences with earthquakes, driving along the highway and all of a sudden the highway disappears, and then the highway comes back and slaps you on the car. What you're seeing is this oscillation. You're driving along, all of a sudden the road disappears, then it comes back up again, and if you're traveling at 70, 80 miles an hour, odds are you're not going to stay on the road. The other aspect is side-to-side motion. And again, highways are displaced. The amount of movement typically is only measured in a couple of feet. But just assume we had a couple of feet of movement in this building, odds are it won't withstand very much stress. So the surface waves are typically the most destructive. Now, when we talk about earthquake activity, there are a couple of terms that have entered into our vocabulary. One is the epicenter, and the epicenter is basically above where the earthquake actually takes place. So if we have the earthquake occurring here, the rock units fracture here. This is where the fracturing takes place. The epicenter is that point directly above the fracture zone. This would be the epicenter. The fracture itself is referred to as the focus. So the precise location the fracture takes place is the focus. The epicenter is directly above that. When you're given a location for an earthquake, they always identify the epicenter, but what you should realize is the real activity is down below. And typically, geologists will identify 3 focus depths. From 0 to 70 kilometers is referred to as a shallow focus. 70 to 300, intermediate. 300 to 700 kilometers, deep focus. By far the most devastating are the shallow focus earthquakes because they happen near the surface. Deep focus earthquakes are found only along convergent plate margins. Recall the convergent plate margin, you have a unit, it's a subduction zone. Rock units follow the